Evening Bookies, my name is Hannah and today we are back with Top 10 Tuesdays. Also, along with this Top 10 Tuesdays video, you guys are also getting a little book haul, and I know what you're thinking. Hannah, we just had a book haul. We've already seen your new books. You haven't. I bought even more books, which is a crazy amount of books that I have bought recently. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. Am I poor? Absolutely. How much money do I have in my bank account? I don't even have enough for chicken nuggets. So let's get into Top 10 Tuesdays. Today we are talking about my favorite fairy tale retellings, so let's get to it. So I am only doing retellings that I've read so far, which as I look at my retelling books over here, it's really not enough, but it'll do for this video. I do have a couple that I'm reading right now, which is fine. But so yeah, a lot of these aren't included because I haven't read them. So number 10 is the OG fairy tale reteller for me. I bought a ton of her books. It was like I don't even remember what one of hers I read first, but she was cranking them out for a while. I'm just going to show you. It's anything by Alex Flynn. Like the first retelling book I ever read was A Kiss in Time by Alex Flynn. It had a completely different cover, but this was the OG for me that got me hooked. And then I bought, obviously I bought more of hers. And I'm pretty sure it was this. I was thinking for a second it was Beastly. Only one of her books has been adapted into a movie, which I don't think is fair because A Kiss in Time is top tier and Beastly was just slightly below that, but A Kiss in Time I feel like is better than Beastly. But if you like little short retellings, Alex Flynn is where you go. So next we have Entwined by Heather Dixon Walworth. Finally, I've only been trying to say that name for a couple minutes now. By Heather Dixon Walworth. So next we have by Heather Dixon Walworth. For some reason I struggle. This is a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses. I read this a long time ago and it has stuck with me for a while. Now, I had never heard of the 12 Dancing Princesses before I heard of this book and read this book, but no one really knows of this story. I don't even know the real story because the way they do it Entwined is a lot different than what they do in Barbie, and I probably should do a little history on it, but I loved this book. And one of the things that I remember mostly from this book was the 12 daughters. They were all named alphabetically, and I really liked it for some reason. Next we have The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Audier. This is a retelling of 1001 Nights. It's so low on my list because I read it a while ago. I don't really remember a lot about it, but I do remember that I really liked it. I haven't read the second one because of a certain thing that's happening in it that I don't like, and that makes it sound so bad. But I know that the two characters I ship in this aren't exactly together. And I don't mean romantically, I mean just physically together during the second book as far as I can tell. It's been a hot minute. I really should just read it. I should just bite the bullet and get over it. So maybe I'll read it. I have so many on my TBR though. It's a ridiculous joke. Anyway, so this is number 8. So the next book on my list isn't a retelling per se, it just has a lot of elements of fairy tales and stuff like that, and I think it deserves a spot on this list. It's The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. Now the author said herself it's not a retelling strictly, it's just got a lot of the elements of it, which is exactly what I kind of just said. This book is exactly like a retelling. It's complicated. In this book, this girl's grandmother is a writer, a really famous writer for writing this thing called The Hinterwood, a book of fairy tales. So technically this is a retelling of the books in that book. It's a rabbit hole, but this book needs more appreciation. This is a really great book. I'm reading The Night Country soon. I'll tell you guys how that goes. So next we have The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This is actually based on a Eastern European folklore, something like that, called Father Frost and Vasilisa the Beautiful. Hi guys, so future Hannah here. I actually looked it up, and Father Frost and Vasilisa the Beautiful are actually two separate Russian fairy tales that are super interesting, and as I look more into them, they actually do apply very well to The Bear and the Nightingale. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link in the description below for you. I don't know much about that fairy tale at all, but this book was really good. I actually don't have that many. I have 2. in this, which is sad. But I really like this book. It's small, but when I was reading it didn't feel small. I really need to look into this book more. Why am I looking that way? But this book is really good. If you're looking for kind of a really not so popular, kind of really fairy tale-ish book, I would suggest this one. So finally, we are at the top 5 of my favorite fairy tale retellings. So they're the more popular ones that I'm sure a lot of people have heard of, but we're just gonna go through them. So number 5 is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. The whole Lunar Chronicles, you obviously know, is based on different fairy tales: Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and Snow White, I believe. And then Marissa Meyer has another book called Heartless, which is based on the Red Queen. She's kind of like Alex Flynn, where she's like a fairy tale queen. She just retells them so well. I know she has Renegades, which I haven't read yet, but these are super good if you like retellings. So number 4, I feel like not a lot of people talk about this book. Maybe a lot of people don't even know about this book. I like this book. I haven't read the fairy tale it's based off of. I kind of looked it up a little bit before I bought this book. And then I bought this book, and I love this book. And it's Bloodleaf by Crystal Smith. This is apparently based on Goose Girl, which again, I pretty much know nothing about, but this book was really good. I'm just saying. Why do I keep talking like that? I'm losing my mind. Okay, this is another one I might have read for a readathon I did like 2 or 3 years back, so it's been a hot minute. This book was really, really good, and it's a standalone, and I honestly wish that it wasn't, because I want more of this story, even though the story wrapped up so perfectly. It's To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. It is a Little Mermaid retelling where the main character is a mermaid and she gets turned into a human by her mom, and in order to turn back into a mermaid, she has to get the prince's heart. It's so good. I think I said the ending was a little anticlimactic, but it's a super good book. I want more. Is that normal? It's normal. I still want more. Like, this book was so good. Ever since that spider scare, I just don't trust anything anymore, you know? All right, number 2 is a very, very popular series. I've only read the first one, which is a shame on me because I heard it only gets better from here. It has been on my TBR for a really long time. I even got it off my bookshelf to read, and then I moved on to another book because I'm stupid. But it's Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and then that whole series is based on different fairy tales, I believe. What ones? I can't remember. This one is Beauty and the Beast. I know that for sure. I know these ones aren't strictly fairy tales, but kind of tales. Future Hannah again. So I did some research, and it says Achomath is actually Persephone and Hades, and Echo War is actually the Helen of Troy story. So they're not strictly fairy tales. But this is Beauty and the Beast. I actually really liked this book. I have read some of Court of Mist and Fury, so I kind of know what goes on with all of that. Not nearly enough to be smart about it. But this is a really, really good Beauty and the Beast retelling. I know the second one completely changes everything up, which is fine by me, but this is like a it's this book. It was this book with the spider in it. There's a spider in it. Ah! I don't trust anything anymore. Moving on. I don't trust anything anymore. So if you know me, Beauty and the Beast is my favorite fairy tale. It's my favorite Disney movie. I love Beauty and the Beast. I don't know why. I mean, I used to think I was the perfect Belle because I have brown hair and I like books. It's a little unrealistic because I'm very grumpy and she's not. But this #1 book on my fairy tale retellings is another Beauty and the Beast retelling, except it's kind of got a little bit of a mix in there. So it's not strictly Beauty and the Beast. It doesn't seem like a Beauty and the Beast unless you shape it that way. That doesn't make sense. You'll know in a minute. I actually love this book so much. I have 2 copies, and if you know me well enough, you already know what book I'm talking about. It's Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I have 2 copies because I love this book so much that when this was put in storage, I was heartbroken and had to buy another one to read it. So this is kind of a Beauty and the Beast retelling where the main character is swept away off to he's a wizard, Hannah. This wizard's castle where he makes her learn magic, and she has to stay with him for, I think it's 10 years. Yeah, okay, it's 10 years. She has to stay with him for 10 years. And it's like the slow burn romance where it's like, I hate you, I don't like you, blah blah blah, you're kind of rude, to like, okay, I can tolerate you, to kind of like, I dig you. This is why I'm single. I just walk around going, I dig you. So yeah, this is my number one. If, I don't know, Naomi Novik has another book called Spinning Silver. It's over here. I started it and then I didn't read it. But this book is really good. If you're looking for a Beauty and the Beast retelling that's not so popular everywhere, try this out, because everyone talks about ACOTAR and they talk about the Lunar Chronicles, but I don't think this book gets enough credit for how amazing it is. So I actually changed my mind and we're not going to do the book haul included in my top 10 Tuesdays. So I will see you guys in the next video, which I'm going to just post the book haul literally tonight. So you guys will see it the same night you see this. But I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.